Hello, ChatGPT. How are you?
Hey there, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? How's everything on your end?
I'm fine. My name is Mudassir Rasheed, and I am serving Punjab TAPTA as instructor mechanical since 2015. Today, my topic of discussion actually it is interview that the topic is learning from failure, turning setbacks into opportunities. Shall we start?
Absolutely. Let's dive right in. I'm excited to explore that topic with you. Where would you like to begin? Or do you have a specific question in mind to kick things off?
Okay, my first question is how do you define failure in personal and professional life?
That's a great starting point. I'd say failure can be defined as any situation where expectations aren't met, whether it's a personal goal or a professional objective. In personal life, it might mean not achieving a milestone or experiencing a setback in relationships or self development. Professionally, it could involve failing to meet targets, missing a deadline, or not succeeding in a project. The key is that failure is often a stepping stone to growth and learning.
Why do you think failure is often viewed negatively in our society?
Yeah, that's definitely an interesting observation. I think a lot of it comes down to cultural norms and expectations. Society often emphasizes success, achievement, and perfection. So failure can be seen as a weakness or a reflection of incompetence. There's also a fear of judgment and the stigma that can come with not meeting certain standards. But gradually, there's a shift towards viewing failure as a valuable learning experience and an essential part of growth.
Can failure actually be a necessary part of growth and success?
Absolutely. It really can be. Failure often provides invaluable lessons that success can't teach. It helps us identify what doesn't work, refine our strategies, and build resilience. In many cases, failure pushes us to innovate, adapt, and ultimately come out stronger. It's also a crucial part of developing a growth mindset where challenges are embraced as opportunities to learn and improve.
What are some common misconceptions people have about failures?
Yeah, there are definitely quite a few misconceptions. One common one is that failure equals incompetence or lack of ability, when in reality it's just part of the learning curve. Another misconception is that failure is final, whereas it's actually just a temporary setback. Some people also believe that successful individuals never fail, but in truth, most successful people have faced multiple failures along the way. Lastly, some think that failure is something to be aimed of, but it's actually a badge of courage and a sign of taking risks.
How can our mindset determine whether a failure breaks us or builds us?
That's such a crucial point. Our mindset really shapes how we perceive and respond to failure. A growth mindset, for example, sees failure as an opportunity to learn and improve, which helps us bounce back stronger and more resilient. On the other hand, our fixed mindset might see failure as a reflection of our abilities, leading to discouragement and even giving up. So, cultivating a positive, growth oriented mindset can really transform how we handle setbacks and use them as stepping stones to success.
Okay, what are the first steps someone should take after experiencing a major setback?
Great question. First off, it's really important to allow yourself to process the emotions that come with the setback. Acknowledging disappointment or frustration is totally okay. Next, it helps to reflect on what happened and identify the lessons learned. From there, setting small, actionable goals can help rebuild momentum. It's also beneficial to seek support from mentors, peers, even professional coaches. And lastly, maintaining a positive, resilient attitude and being patient with yourself can make a huge difference.
Okay, how can an individual analyze their failures to extract valuable lessons?
That's a great focus. One effective approach is to start by reviewing the situation in detail, looking at what went right and what went wrong. It helps to ask yourself reflective questions like what could have been done differently and what factors contributed to the outcome. It's also useful to seek feedback from others who are involved, as they can provide a different perspective. Documenting the experience and your insights can also help you track patterns over time. And finally, creating an action plan based on those lessons can turn those failures into a solid foundation for future success.
How do successful people use failure as a stepping stone to innovation?
Yeah, definitely. Successful people often embrace failure as a catalyst for innovation by staying curious and open-minded. They analyze what went wrong, identify gaps, and then use those insights to explore new approaches and solutions. Often they see failure as a chance to pivot, refine their ideas, and experiment with creative solutions they might not have considered otherwise. They also tend to maintain a resilient mindset, viewing setbacks as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Over time, these experiences build a foundation for continuous improvement and breakthrough innovations.
Okay, how can one develop resilience after repeated failures?
Building resilience definitely takes time and intentionality. One key step is to cultivate a positive mindset and focus on your strengths rather than dwelling on setbacks. It also helps to set realistic goals and celebrate small wins along the way, which can boost confidence. Another important aspect is developing a strong support network, surrounding yourself with people who encourage and uplift you. Also, practicing self-care and stress management techniques like mindfulness or exercise can really help. And finally, viewing each failure as a learning opportunity and maintaining perseverance can gradually strengthen resilience over time.
What is the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset when facing failures?
That's a great distinction. With a fixed mindset, people tend to believe that their abilities and intelligence are static and unchangeable. So when they face failure, they might see it as a reflection of their inherent limitations and often feel discouraged or defeated. In contrast, a growth mindset sees abilities as qualities that can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. So when someone with a growth mindset encounters failure, they see it as a valuable opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow. They're more likely to embrace challenges, persist through obstacles, and ultimately improve over time. It's that difference in perspective that really shapes how people handle setbacks.
How can educators and leaders encourage a healthy attitude towards failure?
Absolutely. There are several ways they can do that. One approach is to model a growth mindset themselves, showing that failure is a natural part of learning and growth. They can also create a supportive environment where mistakes are seen as learning opportunities rather than failures, encouraging open discussions about setbacks and sharing personal stories of overcoming failure can also help. Providing constructive feedback that focuses on effort and improvement rather than just outcomes is key. Also, fostering a culture of collaboration where people can learn from each other really helps. Ultimately, when educators and leaders celebrate effort, resilience, and progress, it encourages everyone to embrace failure in a healthy way.
How can failure spark creativity and innovation?
Absolutely. Failure can be a powerful driver of creativity and innovation. When things don't go as planned, it pushes us out of our comfort zones and encourages us to think differently. It often leads to questioning assumptions, exploring new perspectives, and experimenting with alternative approaches. Plus, failure can spark a sense of curiosity and resilience, driving us to try out bold ideas we might not have considered otherwise. In the end, many breakthrough innovations stem from learning from what didn't work, refining ideas, and ultimately finding new paths to success.
What role does feedback play in converting failures into opportunities?
Feedback is absolutely vital. It helps us gain clarity on what went wrong and why, and provides valuable insights that we might miss on our own. Constructive feedback helps us pinpoint specific areas for improvement and encourages us to adjust our strategies and approaches. It also helps us stay motivated and focused because it turns failure into a learning experience rather than a setback. Plus, feedback fosters a culture of continuous improvement, collaboration, and innovation, making it easier to turn challenges into stepping stones for future success.
Can you share examples of famous individuals or companies that turned failure into success?
Absolutely. There are so many inspiring examples. For instance, Thomas Edison famously encountered thousands of failures before successfully inventing the electric light bulb. He viewed each failure as a step closer to the solution. Another great example is Steve Jobs and Apple. The company faced significant setbacks, like the initial failure of the Apple Lisa, but these experiences led them to refine their products and eventually create the highly successful iPhone. Another one is Walt Disney, who faced multiple failures, including being fired from a newspaper job for lacking imagination, but he turned those setbacks into motivation, ultimately creating an entertainment empire. These stories show how embracing failure and learning from it can lead to remarkable success.
Okay, what's one key takeaway everyone should remember about learning from failures?
I'd say one key takeaway is that failure is not the end, but rather a stepping stone to growth and improvement. It's all about shifting our perspective to see setbacks as valuable learning experiences that ultimately pave the way to success. By embracing failure with curiosity and resilience, we open ourselves up to innovation and growth. Ultimately, it's the willingness to learn and adapt that makes all the difference.
Thank you very much for your help, ChatGPT. Take care. Bye bye.
You're very welcome. It was my pleasure. Take care and feel free to reach out anytime. Bye bye.